My name is Bill Haley for the Haley 2024, the Movement's Government Reform Ideas. This video is going to be on inflation and Haleynomics, how I think about economics. I think about economics a little bit differently than a lot of people. A lot of free enterprise, don't get me wrong, but I think I explain it and think about it a little bit differently. So I want to explain inflation real quick. I'm going to do multiple videos in the end of May of 2024. And so let's go through it, and hopefully I keep this one fairly short. Then I'm going to do a lot of other videos addressing it in a little bit different ways. So every trade of money for a product is even, meaning the amount paid is the amount earned. It's always going to be the same. The amount put into the economy is the amount taken out of the economy. This is critical. Even when you pay taxes, you're just being forced to buy additional services that government's providing. Cop services, soldier services, teacher services, things like that. But the amount is the same. When you buy whatever, you might be also, when somebody's buying your labor and you pay income tax, or you're buying something, you pay sales tax, you pay additional amount. The amount you're actually giving over is actually paying for whatever you're getting, plus you're getting government services as well. But here we want to talk about here is it's critical, if you don't want inflation, to the amount of money you put into the economy has to be the same amount you take out of the economy. No differences there. When unbacked money is created by simply printing or the government digitally printing, by just saying that they have the money, it causes problems. Unbacked money. Those dollars, first transactions, just take out the product off the shelves without putting products on the shelf. So if government gives somebody money, money's the ability to take product off the shelf and buy it through the register or whatever. But it's the ability to take money off. They didn't put money on the table. If you're going to earn money, somebody has to give you money, you have to give them services, product or services. So once you have that money, that's the fulfillment of that full trade. When you do money, you're doing like half trades. So it has to be equal. How much you're going into the economy, how much is coming out of the economy. So you have to do work and give product or services into the economy in order to pull it out. Unbacked money, newly printed money, the first time it goes in there, that first transaction takes product off the shelf. And that's where you're going to get inflation. That's where it goes wrong, when it's not even. How much is put into the economy and out of the economy. You're only taking money out. The first transaction removes an asset from the economy without the necessary requirement that the products be added to the economy. It has to be equal, what you're putting into the economy and what you're taking out. If somebody works extra hours or whatever the case may be, and makes more product or does more services, they get dollars for that. They put product or services into the economy by working those extra hours. Then they can take product off the shelf. That's all equal. When government just makes money, prints it up, not backed up. Backed up means you're putting money into the economy, putting product into the economy. Unbacked up means you're not putting money into the economy. Unbacked money creates inflation. We'll go through it. So this is just critical that you have it to say it has to be equal. The second and all other transactions are equal because it is product for product. So it's only the first transaction of new money that goes into the economy that's inflationary. Once that money's out there, then somebody has to earn it. Somebody's providing bread, and then the next person's providing plumbing services, and the next person providing beef, whatever the case may be. The amount paid is the amount received. So the second in all other transactions that's just regular money at that point. It's that first transaction that is the issue. The amount of unbacked up money that is created is the amount of product that is taken off the shelf without adding product to the shelf. When I say product to the shelf, that means you're earning money. Putting product on the shelf, you're earning money. Taking product off the shelf, you're buying things. as inventory levels drop, because a lot of people put product on the shelf without money at all. You're creating something. You get the money actually when people buy it. So there's going to be a certain amount of base inventory on the shelf. And government creating new money just means people can go and take the product off your shelf. Yes, you get the dollar, and then you can go spend that dollar. That's the second and third and fourth and so on transactions. Those are equal. Those are fine. It's that first one that allows people to take that product off the shelf without the necessary, very critically necessary part of taking product off the shelf. As inventory levels drop, people naturally start increasing prices. Or more precisely, the price is not increased. The value of the currency decreases, meaning it takes more currency to buy the same product. And whether I get into it in this video or other videos, I'm going to go through the math on that. I have a lot of videos, a lot of slides. I just didn't want to do everything on one video. If the price of a product was 10 dimes on Monday, and on Tuesday the price went to 20 nickels, did the price increase because 20 is bigger than 10? It takes 20 coins to buy that product. It used to take 10 coins. Well, we switched from dimes to nickels. Or is it more accurate to say that the product's price did not change, the value of the coin changed? So when we have inflation, the dollar, we still call it the dollar. We didn't change the name, but in reality we should have, just like we changed it from dime to nickel. A dollar in 21, well actually we do it to some degree. They say in 2021 dollars, or 2022 dollars, or 2023 dollars. Hey, in today's dollars, that means, saying something is in 1970 dollars means how much it was worth at that point in time. That's just the same as saying it's a quarter, a nickel, a dime, a penny. It's that type of thing. If we have 10% inflation, the price did not change. I know there's a technical definition of inflation as general rise in prices. That's a very bad definition. We should get away from that. There's a lot of things that can increase the price of something. And a general price increase, a hurricane comes through, ruins a lot of things. A lot of people have to rebuild, retool, do a lot more labor to do something to get their product out. And they have to increase their prices for a while to make up for that. And a lot of things got damaged. There's a lot of reasons why prices increase. We should not be calling inflation, which is currency inflation. We should not call that the same thing. In reality, we shouldn't call currency inflation. We should only call currency inflation when it's unbacked dollars. If you add a whole bunch of new dollars based off of new assets, then I don't think we should call that inflation. Inflation, in my opinion, should be called when you increase the amount of currencies, the units of currency, without being backed up, without having assets go and say, these new dollars can buy this set of assets, and have that in the system. If you had 1,000 stocks of a company worth $1 million, each stock is worth $1,000. Just simple math. If a company managers created 100 additional stocks, so 10% more, sold them for $1,000 each, so that's the correct price to put it on. Let's say the value of the company is not changing any. And the managers bought $100,000 worth of trucks, and they needed the trucks. The company's value would increase to $1,100,000. We got 1,100 stocks. It was 1,000. We added 100 stocks. We added the $100,000 that goes in there, and now the whole company's worth that. Each stock is still worth $1,000. Let's not get into the price of the company's really more now because you have trucks and it added more value. Let's just say right now it added $100,000 worth of value. Okay. However, if the managers just created, let's go with inflation now. If the managers just created 100 new stocks and gave them away, not sold them, not take $100,000 and put it into the bank account, meaning you have assets and assets in the as form of cash in the company, making your company worth 1.1 million. They just gave it away. The company's value remains at $1 million. But now it is spread over 1,100 stocks, 100 more, 10% more. Each stock is now worth roughly $909. Well, people aren't going to be very happy with that. But that's the same as our currency. When we just create new unbacked money and put it into the system, all the existing stocks, all the existing dollars reduce down and are decreased. They're worth, not worth less as in zero, worth less. In this manner, about 9 or 10%, based off of, I know my money, the dollars get a little bit messy because when you divide by 10, increase by 10%, everything went down like $90, $91 here, I think. You do the math right. Before additional unbacked stocks, the $1 million company cost 1,000 shares. That's the price of that company, was 1,000 shares. Somebody could buy that company for 1,000 shares if it was on the open market. After the 100 extra stocks were just given away, not backed up with cash, new assets, the trucks or whatever, now it costs 1,100 shares. The price of the company, the worth of the company did not change. It just cost 1,100 shares to buy that company now. The price of the company did not change. The value of the stock dropped to $91. It is critical that if more stocks are created, they are sold, you get real assets, the cash, and the assets are created. So either assets as in cash in the bank, or trucks or equipment or new employees, training and the like. Or the money stays in the bank. This means the value of the company goes up, keeping the stock price the same. Creating additional stocks and giving them away is the same as creating additional money, additional currency, and just giving it away. The value of the stock and the value of each dollar decreases. Creating additional dollars for a loan can be okay if the loan is paid back, as long as the outstanding loan values don't change quickly. So if you went from, let's say in the real economy, $1 trillion worth of loans out there, and then really quickly, within a couple months, you went to $2 trillion worth of loan value, well, that puts $1 trillion more chasing products right now, where the loan is paid back over 5, 10, sometimes 30 years if you're talking about a mortgage, different lengths of time. So you are pulling money out slowly. So it's okay to have loans as basis of your currency, as long as it's somewhat stable. Changing it dramatically can make it not stable. Okay, creating additional dollars for government spending. Now this is when government is creating inflation. I know we're talking about government, Federal Reserve, the bank, whatever, who's doing the printing up the new money. But now let's talk about government services that were government spending. Creating additional dollars for government spending that has no tax to pull the money back out devalues the dollar. So it's critical that if we're going to spend it, we actually have to tax it. We have to take it away from the people. Now, I'm not a big government guy by no means. I'm a very small government guy, but we need to have some government. But we have to tax out, take away from the people, and force them to buy those government services. When you're taxing, you are actually forcing somebody to buy a government service. So that's highly valuable there. So yeah, I want to go down to less than 10%, all of government, city, state, and federal. I got ways to do it. I'm not going to get into that now. Go look at my website. I got my website at Haley2024.org, or just Google Haley2024, the movement. Okay, let's keep on going. Just saying, okay, creating additional dollars for government spending that has no tax to pull the money back out devalues the dollar. If you want to say, well, we have a government debt and that is on the books and so it's balanced. Well, if you just keep on adding to that and you don't have a tax to pulling that back out, because the tax pulling that back out means people don't have that money to go buy all the goods. Too many dollars chasing too few goods. You have to take it away from the people so everybody can't be buying all the stuff because, hey, we need to make room for the government personnel, if those soldiers and those cops to buy the product. Okay, more videos will go through that, so look at some other videos there. Okay, so just saying the books are balanced because we have debt obligations does not stop the devaluation unless you are really pulling it back out at a very quick clip and the full government debt does not change dramatically. It changed dramatically in 2020, 2021. We're in 2024 now, and we've seen significant inflation. Okay, borrowing money from the people at least ties up the funds so it can't be spent. So if government borrows the money from the people, what you don't want is people to go out and spend that money. It ties it up, and that's fine. Now, I don't want government spending. I want it as low as totally possible. I want the soldiers, yes. I want the cops, yes. There needs to be some government, and I have that solved within my reforms. But let's just keep on going. So it is vital that money is tied up so it cannot be spent. And all the money for the soldiers and the cops are not spent as well, overwhelming the amount of product that we have on the shelves. Okay, borrowing money from the government just created. So borrowing money, and I put it into quotes because if they just created it, it's not really borrowing it. You created it, you're borrowing it from yourself. It's not really a good thing to do because that's the same as just creating it and not even putting it on the books. You're just adding money into the system. So it's vital that if we're going to have a debt, we have a tax to pay off that debt a reasonable amount of time so it can be pulled back out of the system. Borrowing money the government just created so you say the books are balanced adds money to the system. The balance of saying the government owes the money back one day in the distant future does not tie up the money today. And that is needed. That tying up the money is needed. So there's not too much money chasing too few goods. Okay, I'm making a lot of videos in late 2024 or late May of 2024. There's a lot of places to look at it. I'm gonna probably post them all between the 20th and the beginning of June. So look for those. Until the next video.